Hello and welcome. You're watching To The Point. An intriguing question hangs over the politics of Jammu and Kashmir. Are the BJP-PDP about to form a second government under Mehbooba Mufti? Or has Farooq Abdullah bowled a googly that could disturb alliances and either create turmoil or a new political order? 10 days after governor's rule was declared, with still no sign when a new civilian government will be formed, we explore the intriguing possibilities that have emerged over the weekend. In part 2, I shall talk to two leading experts about the direction in which they believe Kashmir's politics is heading. But first, I'm joined by the man who has created political intrigue and opened up new possibilities in this critical state. He is President of the National Congress and former Chief Minister, Farooq Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah, at least 3 major newspapers have reported that on Saturday, when asked if the National Conference might form a coalition with the BJP in Kashmir, you said, and I'm quoting, "If such a proposal comes, then the National Conference will call a meeting. If such a situation arises, the National Conference can think it over. We have not closed the doors on the BJP. Our doors are open." Doesn't this mean that you are willing to consider a coalition and you are not ruling it out ab initio?
Karan, let us be very clear. The government will be formed in Jammu and Kashmir by PDP and BJP. So there is no question of any other party making a coalition. Let's be very clear. Only yesterday, the spokesperson from the PDP has cleared this factor that they are already going to be forming the government. So let us not talk of any other thing.
Well, just a moment, Dr. Abdullah. I want to repeat your words to you. You say, we have not closed the doors on the BJP.
No,
our doors are open. What does your doors being open mean?
There is no open door and there is no closed door.
But what
the
did you
final
mean?
settlement has been done by the two parties, which we wanted, because they have the mandate from the people. And if they have the mandate, they must carry on working for the betterment of the people. We can't afford in that state being without a government. Governor cannot take care of the entire people of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh.
Absolutely, that is your position this evening. But I'm talking about your position on Saturday.
Yesterday also.
Well, just a moment, sir. Just a moment. What did you mean when you said on Saturday, we have not closed the doors on the BJP, our doors are open?
The correspondent asked me, are you going to be forming a government? I told him no. We have no mandate and nothing has been proposed to us by the BJP. And in all political forums, you must remember, no political party closes any doors and windows. Whatever will happen, let us see
you're
what
coming
happens,
around to it now.
and then working committee will meet. But for the present, we have no intentions of forming any government.
But you're saying two things that are almost the opposite of each other, and sadly you're saying them at the same time, which makes it confusing. On the one hand, you're saying no party closes doors. In fact, your exact words were, we have not closed the doors on the BJP. And you add that if a proposal comes, the working committee will consider it. And therefore, I come back to you. What you're saying is, if a proposal comes, you're open to considering it. You have not ab initio said no.
I am the president of the party, but the decision will be taken by the working committee. I cannot say any more than that.
Absolutely, sir. But when you say the decision will be taken by the working committee, you're making it clear that that decision is still one that you're open to considering. The working committee will decide either yes or no. At this moment, you haven't said no. Your doors are open. You're now confirming it.
It's not a question of saying no. There is no such thing. Already the PDP has agreed to form a government. Why are we creating trouble for them?
Well, at the moment, the BJP and PDP have not announced whether they are forming a government. You're reading far too much into what Naeem Akhtar said on Sunday. The board is very much in Mehbooba Mufti's court. She will decide, and she hasn't decided. So
no, because she's still talking to other people regarding various things. But they will form the government.
Well, that's one possibility, that they will form the government. But I want to go back to what you said. Many people will say that between the position you took on Saturday, when you categorically said our doors are open, we have not closed the door on the BJP, and between what you're saying today, you've probably been spoken to by someone. Has your son come up and said, what are you saying? Why are you confusing matters? And is that why you're now changing your position?
There is no such move from my son. Please don't bring any differences between my son and me.
Well, the reason I say that is because 24 hours after you spoke on Saturday, Omar Abdullah on Sunday said there is no change in the National Conference stand on coalition with the BJP. And separately, the National Conference on its Facebook page put up a statement which said that the recent meeting of the working committee has endorsed the decision taken by the NC a year ago to stay away from the BJP, and then that statement added, we expect no change in that decision. That was very different to what you were saying 24 hours earlier.
Are you trying to create a trouble? What are you trying to do? We are not going to form the government. Is that clear?
So then
we are not going to form any government. We have only 15 people, and 15 people don't form a government.
Well, you're not going to form a government on your own, but with your 15, you could conceivably ally with the BJP's 25.
No, they've got 26 members. How will 15 and 25 make a government?
But there are two people's conference that could join you, and maybe some of the independents.
No, they're not going to join. Don't be under that illusion.
You know,
we are absolutely clear. We don't have the majority, and we don't have the people's mandate to form any government.
Dr. Abdullah, the reason why people thought that you were playing a very clever strategic game when you repeatedly said your doors were open, that you had not closed doors on the BJP, is because when you were last Chief Minister in the late 1990s, you actually were in alliance with the BJP. Your party was part of the NDA. Your son was a minister in Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government. Therefore, a second alliance would be neither unprecedented nor unusual.
Look, I don't know why you're jumping on this issue. If I said that, that was to push these people to get on quickly with their job.
I'm not jumping.
That was my reason.
Well, many people suspect that you made that statement deliberately because you wanted to create a little bit of, how shall I put it, tension and trouble for the PDP. The PDP is your great ally. If you suddenly offer support to the BJP and fracture the PDP's alliance with the BJP, that works in your interest. Were you playing a strategic political game?
I have never been interested in creating tragedies. This was their master who used to do these things. Farooq Abdullah is a very straight person. I don't believe in double talking. I have never sold people nor bought people to form government. And I don't intend to do it in my last phase of my life.
Let me repeat that one more time before I move to another issue. The interpretation many people have put on your comments is that on Saturday you were playing a tactical or strategic game to prize apart the BJP, PDP and to score advantages over PDP, your rival. Then your son and your son's National Working Committee stepped into the picture, perhaps snubbed you, perhaps were upset by the opening you'd possibly theoretically made for an alliance with the BJP. That's why tonight you've changed your position.
You can say whatever you like. My position is absolutely clear. We are not in a position to form a government. We don't have the numbers at all. Let the PDP and BJP form government. That is what is important.
Now, in fact, you played a second googly, if I can use that cricketing phrase, yesterday, when you said to PTI, and I'm quoting PTI, they claim you said that if they, meaning the BJP, PDP, can't solve the problems of the people, the assembly must be dissolved, fresh elections should be held. PTI says you were calling for fresh elections yesterday.
Yes. What is wrong with that? In a democracy, if the present situation does not form a government, then what is it? We should go to the people. Let people decide.
Except, Dr. Abdullah, 1 year, in fact, just 13 months after the last elections, why is another election preferable to say a few weeks or even a month or two of governor's rule?
Governor cannot govern that state, nor can 6 members of the governor's governance meet all the people. It is the members of assembly who are able to meet people, look at their grievances and try to solve them. Therefore, it is vital that we should have a government that will function, that will deliver goods to the people.
But you know, it's only 11 days since Mufti Sahab died. It's only 10 days since governor's rule was imposed. How much more time do you think the BJP and PDP should be given to try and form a second government before a second election becomes necessary?
I think they should be given as long a time as possible to get on with the job.
But now this is bizarre.
There's no question of, they will soon decide. I think within a week or so, you will find the government will be formed by them.
But Dr. Abdullah, this is again another very strange, almost U-turn position you're taking. Yesterday,
why U-turn position?
No, but yesterday you told PTI that a new election is necessary. Today you're saying to me that BJP and PDP should be given as much time as they need to form a government. In which case, if they should have as much time as they need, why call for fresh elections yesterday?
Karan, only yesterday their statement came that we are ready to form the government. So, is it wrong if I have said that before and then I hear that they are going to form government? I'm very happy that they're going to form government. What is wrong with that?
Would you be happy if it takes them another week or two, maybe if it takes them a month or so?
I want them to form a government so that people's problems can be solved.
And therefore, to enable them to have time to form a government, you are prepared for a month or two of governor's rule if that is necessary?
I think if that is necessary and that is needed, I think it's not bad. But what I want them to do is to form a government. And the quicker they form, the better for all of us.
You know, the last time elections were held, December 2014, the National Conference, your party, got 15 out of 87 seats, which is barely 17.2.
Sorry, I was ill at that time. I was not able to. I was in the hospital in England. I could not help my party. That was the tragedy, big tragedy that we faced.
But do you believe now, if elections were to be held, the National Conference would do better? Do you think that you sense an advantage because the BJP, BDP have not performed and PDP has become unpopular?
PDP thinks they'll do better, BJP thinks they'll do better, Congress thinks they'll do better, everybody thinks they'll do better. It'll be only the people who will decide.
Obviously. But do you believe and sense that there's an advantage for the National Conference, which is why suddenly yesterday you came up with this call for fresh elections? Is that the motivation, that the poor performance of the BJP-PDP government and the PDP's own loss of popularity means that the National Conference will this time do better, hence fresh elections, even if it's only 13 months after the last ones, suit you?
Not at all, Karan. I never thought that way. I thought that they will form a government. And when they don't form a government, obviously what else can they do? What else is left other than going to the people?
Two last questions, Dr. Abdullah. Many people feel that through the reluctance that Mehbooba Mufti has shown to form a government, the sort of bargaining that's been going on behind closed doors and behind the scenes with the BJP, Mehbooba has actually strengthened her hand vis-a-vis the BJP. Do you therefore expect that any government she might form would be stronger and more assertive than her father's 10-month administration?
Well, I hope the government is good, and I hope the government delivers. That is my prayer for both the parties, and I hope they will strengthen democracy and they will strengthen secular polity in the state.
How do you view the government that her father formed and ran for 10 months? How do you view it?
Well, I think let him rest in peace. It is not right for me to make any comments. He has just died. Please wait for some time. Let him be in peace first.
In other words, what you're saying is you don't want to be critical of him because he's just died?
No, I don't want to say anything. He has just died, and I want him to lie in peace.
Finally, my last question. What do you believe are the key problems Jammu and Kashmir faces which require a new, quickly formed civilian elected government?
There are a number of problems they have to face. One, they have to face the tragedies that took place in 2014 of the flood victims who are still waiting to be given relief so that they can build their properties. One. Secondly, that government has to work towards stability of the state itself so that they can give better government. The tragedy has been that the officers have been divided between various religions and various regions. That has to change. Officer is an officer for all, whether you are of one religion or another religion, this color or that color. That has to be strengthened.
What about the belief that militancy is once again rising in the state? How worried are you about that?
Okay, as far as militancy is concerned, if India and Pakistan dialogue gets on to a better process, I am sure that militancy will have its own death.
All right, Dr. Abdullah, we're going to have to leave it there. I'm sorry we weren't able to have you by OB, but unfortunately, I believe, as I'll explain to the audience, you're badly stuck in traffic as a result of the terrible traffic jams that have happened tonight. And I'm grateful that you were able at least to join us by telephone. Time for a break, but then two leading analysts join me to talk about the other critical question. Is another BJP-PDP government likely? And if so, when? And what do they make of the U-turns and twists that Dr. Abdullah has done, calling on Saturday, or Sunday rather, for fresh elections, calling on Saturday for the possibility of an alliance with the BJP when he said our doors are open, we have not shut them, and now today denying that he said both.